How's everybody doing? I hope you're all having a good night. We're headed into March, so spring is in sight, which is always a good thing. Many viewers found the Gelsomina Verde story to be a sad one. The unfortunate reality is she's one of many. A great deal of young women in Italy have lost their lives at the hands of the mafia. And in some instances, it's their own father or brothers who were the ones to take their lives in order to restore what they believe is the family's honor. It's an expected act. However, as one viewer put it, martyrs can make a bigger impact with their death than their life. And I believe Gelsomina is a perfect example. Another viewer commented in regard to the Vario trailer bug video. He wondered if the legal and police issues for Vario left an opening for Roy DeMeo to become a bigger and more violent crew. So to start with, let's look at a side-by-side of Paul Vario and Roy DeMeo. At the time of the investigation into Vario and his crew, one that began in December 1971, Vario was not only a powerful Lucchese captain, but also the family's acting consigliere, whereas Roy DeMeo, despite having a crew, was still just an associate of the Gambino family. They both operated out of the Canarsie section of Brooklyn, and yes, considering Vario's legal troubles and the indictments that followed, ones that resulted in a short time spent in prison, naturally there was a void in certain rackets he and his crew were involved in. And I'm not suggesting the Gambinos didn't make a play or use that void to their advantage. But here's a hard fact. The Lucchese's presence in Canarsie was not completely eliminated, and any of Vario's rackets would absolutely be secured by fellow Luccheses. It would be an understatement to imply that the Roy DeMeo crew was violent. They essentially created an assembly line of a human chop shop and took the disposing of bodies to another level. Case in point, other families and crews were having them make their victims disappear. Nevertheless, don't think for 1 second the Vario crew were choir boys. They were replete with capable members and associates who were also putting in their fair share of work. So even with Roy DeMeo's fearsome reputation, his level of power within the Gambino family was nowhere near the degree of Paulie Vario, nor did it prevent the Gambino leadership from eliminating him. Here's my opinion. I think Paul Castellano came to view DeMeo as a liability and also may have believed that he eventually would cooperate. Arguably, it could be stated that Castellano was not a Roy DeMeo fan, for example. For many years, he refused to induct DeMeo into the family. And it was only after DeMeo increased his tributes by kicking up more money, as well as his handling of the Westies, did Castellano cave in and permit him to become a member. In the final analysis, again, from my point of view, I feel that regardless of Paulie Vario's legal headaches, the power in Canarsie, Brooklyn belonged to him.